We are live. Hi, Niki.
Hey, Zoe.
So good to see you. We got to chat a little bit before this call, and we have a lot in common. And we just found out how much we each love Halloween, which I think I knew that about you. But a fun holiday coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah, we get a kids event and an adults event this year. So I'm excited for both.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm so excited for everyone joining us today and wanted to thank Niki Frost, who's been working with me for a few months now, since probably about the beginning of the year. And she is part owner, company owned. She's the spearheader. Who are we kidding? You run the joint. We know that. For ARAN Music Service. We'll get a little bit more into that, but I wanted to welcome you, Niki, and thank you so much for coming. And as you guys pop on, and if you have any questions, please do put them in the chat. Happy to answer them. And yeah, let's get started. Let's talk about Niki. So, Niki, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the company? Give us a quick overview of that.
Sure. So we are a family owned and operated DJ company. And my dad started the business. So we're all very close. It's my dad, my brother, and I. My dad is our founder and head DJ. And then my brother is our equipment manager and sound technician. And then I do the event coordinating. So all the behind the scenes work, all of the social media and the client correspondence. Updating the libraries, and then actively DJing and emceeing along with my dad at events. I say family owned and operated, but the good news is we are adding a new DJ named Ben, and he'll be beginning with us in 2022. He's currently in training, and he comes from a musical background too. So we're really excited to have him aboard. And we're based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, we had all the accolades and all the right reviews, but just felt like with such a saturated market, we were really getting lost in the crowd.
Sure. Well, yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Give us a quick overview. What were you looking for? Tell us, what was going on in January. Your dad, you guys have been running the business for a while. What was going on there?
We just weren't getting much attention, and it didn't make sense to us how or why when we had the accolades there, other than the fact that we felt like maybe we were being buried. So we didn't know if we needed to put our attention to SEO or what needed to happen. And it was a lot of just trying to generate our own ideas and kind of throw something and hope that it stuck. And then feeling like we just kept turning our wheels and nothing was really working. And we weren't seeing a lot of turnaround, not a lot of traffic to our website, some leads, but then kind of feeling ghosted. And we'd really want to get the clients to do one-on-ones with us, but didn't really have a good way of generating that or bringing attention to that. And then for me, I know that my dad has literally put his blood, sweat, and tears into the company, and that it's going to be mine someday. And he's getting to the age where he'll eventually want to retire. And I honestly was kind of scared of how I was going to continue on with his legacy, because I have so much love and passion for the business. But what was I going to do? How was I going to take over and make it financially successful and sustain the company?
And so just to jump down on some of those things, like one thing that you talked about was the accolades, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit because that was very clear when we first started talking that you guys have nothing but 5-star reviews. How many do you have? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't. It's over 50, I believe, on the Knot.
Yeah, definitely. It's over 50. So I think a lot of people here, or the people that are here, they know they're good at what they do. They do get that. It's not about that's not the problem, right? The
No,
problem is, hey, I'm really good at what I do. How do I tell everyone else and attract the
exactly.
right people? And I think that's kind of the challenge. And yeah, of course, sharing about your dad, you guys, he's such a superstar, literally a rock star. He's in a band, he was in an Ozzy Osbourne cover band. Was he back in the day? Or?
He just, that's one of the people he gets told he looks like all the time. When I was in high school, it was a joke because if dad came to DJ any of the high school events, all the goth kids and the more punk rock kids would come out and their nickname for him was Ozzy. And it's funny because we could be somewhere even now and we'll hear in the distance, Ozzy. And I know it's one of my friends from high school that ran into dad.
And he's the coolest guy. And having run the business for 20 years, it's got to be, and he started it from the ground up. He got into it because he's a music fiend. He's so passionate about it. It's within him since he was super young, right? So that's a lot of pressure, I think, to put on oneself and to try to keep it running. And also, I mean, back in January, let's get real, everyone was freaking out about COVID. And what was different for you? Like, what was what were you looking for? Because everyone else was like, oh, it's just the way it is right now. Why did you know that it should be different? What was it that had you saying, yeah, I know it's January COVID time, but this isn't the way we're going to operate?
I think it's because we really know people and we really love and understand people. And we knew that no matter what happened in the world, people were going to long to get together and to celebrate, and that marriage and weddings and events were something that just weren't going to go away forever, right? And so we knew that we had to be ready and prepared and have attention brought to us for when things did break and everything was normal again.
Yeah, exactly. There's always an end to everything, right? And so talking a little bit about just what you were looking for, what is the result that you got through working together, through getting the coaching, something that you were looking for and something that happened for you?
Much better response. So if someone came to us with an inquiry, we weren't getting ghosted anymore. There was interest in, let's set up a meeting, or can I see a copy of your playlist, or can we get on the phone and talk about this more? I think it was a lot of showing people what we do more than just words, which a lot of that came through coaching. A lot of being able to show people that we wanted to build more of a relationship with them than rather it be just a business transaction. There was a lot of focus on finding the right client for us and realizing who our ideal client was and how to target them.
Yeah, because for those, and you were exclusively at the time advertising on the Knot and Wedding Wire, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute, but you were getting inquiries. It wasn't a matter of them not being received. Those were coming in. They just were converting or turning into clients, or maybe they weren't clients that you wanted to work with. You would just hear crickets, right? You were just like one.
Right.
Yeah.
It was easy to fade into the background.
Yeah. And what else did you try before we started working together?
Trying to become the preferred DJ at different venues, which worked for some, but others you'd come to them with that proposal and we already have our list. Thanks. Have a nice day. And again, you fade back into the background. A little bit of Facebook, just throwing things out here and there. I'm trying to come up with my own, with my limited knowledge at the time, my own posts on social media that I thought maybe would engage or take off or share it with my friends, and hopefully they know someone who knows someone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, kind of like throwing spaghetti at a wall, right? Like, and what works. And we talked a little bit about why it was so important to fix it, but why in January? What was that? You'd probably been going like most of us because it had been 6-8 months of COVID shutdown at that point. What was that decision saying, we've got to fix it, we've got to fix it now? Why was it that important?
I think I just happen to have an aha moment because I am the one that keeps the calendars, and the booking and the scheduling, and seeing all these open dates and knowing that there's no reason those shouldn't be filled. And just knowing that doing it in and of myself wasn't successful, and knowing, okay, put my pride aside. I don't know everything. I need to seek someone with professionalism and an industry expert that can sort through what I'm doing and point me in the right direction.
Yeah. And we had an interesting way of meeting. Do you want to share with people how you found me and how we connected? The person that I love.
I was actually on Facebook, and an ad popped up for actually a friend of yours, and she works with venue owners of weddings. And I was at a point of being desperate and wanting help. And so I reached out to her, and I apologized profusely that I wasn't a venue, but I just really needed help. And she was so kind-hearted and so sweet in her response. And she was honest, and I really appreciated that about her too. And she goes, I do exclusive coaching with venue owners, but I know someone. May I introduce you?
Yeah.
And that's when we connected.
Yeah, and I love Kristen. Every time I talk to her, I thank her for introducing us, because it's such an awesome ride. Watching you grow and seeing your progress, and these celebrations that we're going to talk about here in a second. But yeah, so there was something within you that said, enough's enough. Enough. Like, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. The world's going to open up, and if I'm not at the forefront of it, I'm not doing, like, what am I doing here, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what do you think when we first started working together? Do you remember one of the first things I told you to do? Do you remember, like, an exercise or something? Did it sound crazy? Did you think it was going to work? Tell us a little bit about it.
No, there was some homework involved. But looking back on it, I kept all of it. I literally have a Zoe folder of all my notes and things that I've learned in ways that it's a good reflection of how I've grown and how the business has grown, right? A lot of it was focusing on my ideal client. And a lot of it was addressing what do they need and what do I offer. A lot of focus on my value. That's what I remember the most when we first met.
And don't you think, though, that you think that for you was, did you think you were attracting your ideal client before we worked together?
I guess I didn't put enough concentration on it, but a part of me had to have known, because we were getting so many people that were just looking to fill a check mark. I need a DJ because my mom said I need a DJ. I need a DJ because there's nothing else to fill the time, rather than the clients that are excited to work with us and we're excited to work with them. Again, I think I always in the back of my mind knew I wanted it to be more of a relationship than a business transaction, but I had to learn how to put that out there and how to make that known to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And by doing that work and setting that foundation, I call it the foundation, because once you've set that up, you can build your house, your business, however you want to. But once you did those first couple weeks, let's say, of footwork, what happened? What did you see right away? What was the result of doing that?
I gained a lot of confidence, and I guess that wasn't a result that I expected out of the exercise. But it speaks so much to how I'm able to conduct myself in my business. And other people pick up on it too, right? When you're confident in what you do, and I don't mean prideful, I just mean confident, it attracts the right people automatically. And it makes you more relatable too. You can open up about what your strengths are, and people are like, oh, that's what I want in my DJ, or apply it to anything, right? That's what I want in my cake maker, photographer, however you see fit. So confidence was a big thing. And then knowing what the ideal fit is. it also taught me a lot about competition. So I can look at other DJ companies not as being my competition anymore, because yes, we're in the same industry, but they have a different approach. They do things differently. They're right for XYZ people. I'm right for ABC people. So it's not competition anymore. It's just knowing that different styles, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, 100%. I love how you said that, because it's the confidence factor for me is such a joy to watch. I mean, like I said, I watched you just pop one day and you're like, really? I booked the last 3 calls. I booked the last 3 calls into clients. And I remember having that, just even the way you presented yourself to our trainings and so forth. And just watching that grow, because it really, so many people come into the program thinking, oh, I just need to tweak a couple things and I need a couple tools to get going. But I call it a transformation program. And that's exactly what happened. It was a whole transformation from your core by building this foundation.
Yeah, I mean, it was so easy to get down and out about the lack of clientele that was coming in, or answering inquiries, or finding our website. And then one day just go, this is who my ideal client is. This is who I work with and for. And they're going to find me. And it's plentiful. There are plenty of people getting married or having celebrations. I'm going to use what I learned in my coaching to show people who I am and what I do, and they're going to find me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what was the result of that? Or, based on that, when you say, you gained your confidence, what do you think happened right away? I mean, I know we talk in our coaching about numbers and all that kind of stuff. So talk to me about, because the inquiries were coming in. It's not that we worked on how many come in. It's really about your bottom line and filling up your weekend so that you can still work. I mean, let's face it, for those that don't know, Niki, she's a full-time mom and she has a job and she runs this full-time.
Right.
So the last thing we wanted to do was put a lot more work in on you. But what do you think happened? What kind of manifested out of putting those things together?
The confidence I gained and knowing very clearly who my ideal client was helped me to know how to respond to inquiries. Again, there was much more understanding of how to show people rather than just tell them, to really let my personality come through. That natural confidence allowed me to phrase it and word it in ways that were me and my personality, and let that do some of the attracting. Yeah, and then you start thinking about, well, what do I want to talk about on social media? What makes our company unique, or what are clients and facing right now, or what are some things in our industry that can be addressed right now? And you start gaining all these ideas and funneling it, and it builds upon itself.
Yeah, right. It helps you to master your messaging, because you're now aligned with the vision of, these are the people I want to work with. These are the people that all of a sudden are coming into your hemisphere, right?
Right.
And your voice becomes so much more natural, hopefully, where you're not struggling so much to try to figure out what to say on social media or sell yourself. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things is, are you selling yourself? Do you feel like you have to sell yourself?
And I think that's probably the best point and highlight in all of what I'm saying is, I don't feel like I have to sell myself. It's a lot of, hey, let's sit down and talk. What are your needs? What are you looking for? Okay, this is what I bring to the table. This is why. A lot of our why, we started bringing out why we do it, and then what do you think? And then I don't even have to poke and prod and, you're gonna sign, or look over here, these glitzy glammy things. It's this is who I am. I'm confident in what I do. My work speaks for itself. We're the right fit for each other. Here are the next steps. And then they say, where do I sign?
Yeah. And I think that comes from the confidence aspect as well, right? Because when you're confident that someone's supposed to be part of your client list, and if someone's not, that's okay too. You don't have to feel like you have to grab every single person that comes your way. because they're not all your people. But being able to recognize those makes it so that it's okay, cool, let's do this. You ready? And what happens with them? What's been happening with? I know I talked on the email about the conversion rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conversion rate has gone up. A lot faster response and a lot quicker time too. So not here's a sample of our contract and it's sitting out there for a couple weeks and you're like, well, did they just ghost me? Are they just busy? What's going on? A lot of those returned with deposit a lot sooner. A lot of them checking in, and again, the more relationship thing, you know, hey, this is the next steps of what's coming up and your DJ journey here, and then them responding with, oh, Nikki, so glad to hear from you. We just bought a house. Oh, Nikki, so glad to hear from you. We just came back from our destination wedding and we're so excited to plan our reception. Again, just that connection is so different than that transaction of, I'm finding you on the knot. I'm kind of price shopping. I got to cross this off my list. So I just sent the same inquiry, exact same wording to 20 different DJs. And you sound all about the same, but the guy over here is $200 less. So I guess I'll check him out first.
Right. 100%. Yeah, I found that that's the hardest thing about the knot. And that's kind of why I cracked the code on this, is because your competition actually increases when you advertise with a knot or wedding wire.
Sure.
Because obviously you're in a pool with a lot more people than if someone just Google you or something like that. And how do you set yourself apart based on being on the same page, literally, as 25 other, the same type of business, and capturing that attention right away, setting yourself apart almost immediately. Yeah. And then, so we talked a little bit about where you're at today, but we didn't bring up, you increase your pricing, right?
Yes,
constantly,
twice.
Twice, because we had to take baby steps, which was great. And how many times have you heard, oh, you're too expensive?
I don't. I've had a couple even very, very recently and more frequently now where they're travel fees because they aren't within our typical service area. And so I'll throw that out there, and then the guest count will be larger. And so we'll throw out that it needs to be a larger package because of the square footage of the place. And at first I kind of just would shrink back a little bit, like, okay, they're going to move on once I throw this dollar sign in there. And they aren't. They aren't. There isn't haggling. Like, oh, well, our ceremony is only going to be 20 minutes. So can we waive a ceremony fee? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Well, what if we go down to 5 hours instead of 6? None of it. I'm hearing no, I'm hearing a lot more of, I even had one, I just did her wedding, and it was an amazing celebration. But I remember, I think back to our initial phone call, and I called her and talked about, okay, we're going to see if we're the right fit and stuff. And she said on the phone, she's like, I already researched you. Well, come to find out, she herself is an event planner who is getting married. She goes, but this phone call with you today just solidified everything. When we hang up, you want to send me that contract and I'll get your deposit. Yeah. So it's people coming to us already knowing you're the right one if they've taken the time to look at our website, which brings me to another point of our website was completely being neglected. Really not getting viewership, to now people are doing the website and filling out a request for a meeting through the website on a very regular basis.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of go into that. We didn't do a whole website redesign. It wasn't, again, it's not about that. It's about getting the right messaging for you, right? Because one DJ company, we didn't go to a DJ company's other website, and I didn't give you a template to say, right? We really had to have conversations about bringing out your essence, right? Yeah. Bringing out Ariane's music's culture and cultivation and what you stand for and all those things. And aligning that just reinforces things. So I love that because that's the way it should be. It shouldn't feel like a sales call. It
No.
should be like, all right, so what are you looking for? Let's go. Are we good together? Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And making it so I love that story, especially that she was an event planner. I had no idea.
I had no idea going in. So that was the ultimate compliment right there. Someone who's in the industry and has seen it all, that before they even get you on the phone, they just know and they sense that you're the right person to work with.
Yeah. So what do you think, Niki, are your big takeaways? What do you want our audience here, our fellow wedding and event professionals, to understand?
Know your value. I think that was a huge thing for us. And sometimes it can be scary to stick a price tag on your services, especially when hopefully all of us are in this industry because we do it for the people, right? The passion of working with people, providing a service more than a product. And so really working with Zoe, working with you, we assessed what is our value and then how do we put a price with our value. We can charge XYZ because reason dot 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 dot. And I was nervous at first, especially anytime you tell us to increase our prices, because I was so fixated on competition. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, the national average for DJ is this. Well, in our industry, the average is that. Always remind yourself of, this is my value. This is what helps me stand apart. And I can charge this because this is what I'm offering.
Yeah. And having the confidence to articulate that. It's really
absolutely.
Yeah. And having the confidence. And yeah, it's not just about increasing your pricing. I didn't just say, hey, you need to charge more. That's not right. It's internal work as well as how do you tell people this is why. Right?
Yeah, and that you are very good with us about. Anytime I get nervous about raising the price, well, but you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. Are you charging for those things? No.
Yeah. When you break it down hourly, sometimes it's
you realize how generous people in the event industry can be with their businesses, right?
Sure. And it's a tough one because couples don't understand. They don't realize, and they come into it saying, weddings are expensive. Everyone charges too much. I remember on one of my Facebook posts, I had a client or a bride comment. It was an ad for my coaching saying, hey, 2021 is going to be nuts. Like, you need to increase your pricing and this and that. And she goes, oh, you just told me weddings are expensive enough. And you would think that someone who's been through COVID, people are going to be kinder to and nicer to. Like, she was playing the victim because she was bride and she had to postpone. And, how dare I go out there and say, increase your pricing? And I went back and I said, you know what? Congratulations on your wedding. But here's what I know to be true is that prices are going up everywhere. What's the price of gas right now? What's the price if you go out to eat food? It's going to get even worse with the shortage thing. Like, if people don't realize and that's just inflation, plus our worth on top of that. I'm not saying just increase your pricing. I'm telling you, you don't even know what people do behind the scenes for weddings.
Right. We finally did write a blog, not to pat ourselves on the back, but more again, just to express value and maybe why we're different than other companies, about the work behind the scenes. How long it takes to prepare for the average ceremony and how many cues there are to memorize or set up and take down time, or the amount of money we need to make to invest in the proper care of our equipment and maintenance and so forth. And it's not things that I expect our clients to understand. But if they can understand my value, then they no longer question my pricing, right?
Sure, 100%.
Here's my benefit to you. Sure, you don't care how much money it's going to take for me to get my new QSC speakers, but if I can prove and show to you that you are going to get the absolute best sound quality that there is, bar none,
right?
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. I love that so much because yeah, especially equipment, all of that, your time, our time, everyone's time. The fact that you're growing and Nikki and I have continued coaching. She won't let go of me, and I love it. I get to have her every single week in our coaching sessions and keep watching you grow. And it's just been an amazing, awesome, awesome journey for me to watch you, and that's why I love doing what I do, and I love seeing you grow. So what's next? I know you hired the Bill.
Ben.
Ben.
It's kind of fun because Ben's gonna take the ropes these next 2 jobs that we have for Halloween. And so him and I have been talking music and ideas, and he's excited, and we're excited for him. So he'll be coming on board. He's already shadowed a couple times, and again, he has experience in music, so it's coming to him very naturally. The setup and the flow of the songs and order and everything. And with his personality, the emceeing skills come naturally to him too. So yeah, we have Ben coming on board, and eventually it'd be nice to have even more people on board. But we're keeping that value at the forefront, and not compromising on what we're looking for, and just dreaming really big, and keeping that confidence that why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I love it, Nikki. Well, thank you so much for your time today and, for sharing everything. I know, like I said, you're so busy, and I just really adore you and appreciate you. And I wanted to celebrate your wins because I want people out here to know that it is possible for you. You're going to be at a point in time where you're like, I see everyone else doing it. Why can't I? What is it that's wrong? Sometimes people are like, what am I doing wrong? It's not you. You just need to feel some confidence. And that's what we're here to do. So if you're ready to just really jump, I mean, you guys, 2021, this is the time to do it. 2022 is going to be so crazy. People are nuts right now. They are so busy. And the last thing you want to do is be just as busy and not provide the service, not provide the quality, and you can really miss out if you don't take care of some of these things right now. So the whole point is to make more money, understand what the value is that you can offer for your clients, and not have to work as hard, not have to work as much, like really automation with personalization onto some of those things that wins the perfect clients for you. I mean, how cool is that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are ready, set up a breakthrough call with me. Go to www.zoefelici.biz/apply. It'll take you right to my calendar. Best 45 minutes you'll ever spend on your business on a breakthrough call with me. Would you say that would be the truth?
Oh, absolutely. No questions. No
I
questions.
remember our breakthrough call like yesterday, Nikki, and it was awesome.
Yep.
I think we actually did a Zoom together, didn't we?
We've done a couple Zooms together. The first one was Dad and I with you.
Yeah.
And Dad is sometimes a little stringent about who he trusts or lets in. And we got done with that call, and he's like, she's going to do good things for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, he's definitely, look who he raised and what a company he built. So
absolutely.
Kudos to Dad. I'm glad I won him over.
He adores you.
Wow. We're going to see each other face to face one of these days. I know it.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell everyone where they can find you, where they can follow you, and give us a little bit of info about A-RAN Music Service.
Yes. So we're bestdjmpls.com, and then Facebook and Instagram, Best DJ Minneapolis, or you can find us under A-RAN, A-R-A-N Music Service.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Nikki. I adore you. I
Thank
appreciate
you, Zoe.
Thank you. Ciao, everyone. Set your breakthrough call. I'll put the link at the bottom of this live right now.